When you first launch iMovie, you're going to be brought to either a blank screen or a former project. And what you want to do is you want to go to the project library. And down here, there's a little plus sign. You're going to add a project. This one is going to be called iMovie 09. I'm going to select Standard because I shot in standard definition, and I'm going to create. Okay, this right here is where my final project is going to be displayed. This right here is where I can view each individual clip or the entire movie. And this down here are where all my events are. Okay, so I can have any type of event. This is where I import all my footage. This is where I input my photos, etc. To import your footage, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the very top under the File menu, and you're going to import movies. And this is how you would import your typical QuickTime file or .mov file. You know, you don't import photos this way. You just import video this way. So I've put my video on the desktop under iMovie, and these are my 3 videos. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select the top and the bottom. And another important thing here is you want to create a new event for your project. I'm going to call this iMovie tutorial. And this looks good. Copy files. I'm going to import them. And that'll take a few minutes to import depending on how much you have to import. If you have a lot of footage, it will take a long time. It'll probably take about 15 minutes. So what I would do is I would know which footage that you definitely want to use before you import it, and that way it saves you a lot of time. Okay, so now I can search. It was in the year 2013. Okay, and it should be under my event. So I'm going to maximize this window here by pressing on the arrow. And I titled it iMovie Tutorial. That's the name of my event. Okay, so this is the only video footage that I have in my event. Okay, so now to start editing. So I've told you that this right here is where all your final projects are going to be, or your final clip sequence is going to be. So what I do is especially if I'm listening to an interview, I usually listen to the sound first. Unfortunately, I don't have any sound on this in terms of an interview, but I'll just show you via demonstration. I just press either the space bar, or I can press down here. There's a play button. And over here, you can see that I'm watching the video. It's just B-roll of the classroom. All right, so now let's say I like a piece of that video. I'm going to select that video, and you'll notice that there is a yellow box that's selected, and I can adjust where I want this to begin and end. So I'm going to have it end here. I'll have it begin here. Okay, and this is the video right here in the box that I'm going to select. So you'll see the hand come up, and I'm going to drag the hand, drag, drop, and hold, and there is my video. Okay, you'll notice down here too that if I click away, there's a little orange line underneath it. That shows me what video I've used before. And then I can move on to the next clip. Maybe I want a piece of this clip to be displayed next. So I'll select that. I'll drag and drop. Oops. I will drag and drop again right here. And then you see I have those 2 videos. If I want to rearrange the order, I select this, and I can drag it over here, okay, depending. Moving on to the next piece, let's say I want to zoom in on a part of the video. If I hover over a clip here, you'll notice a little blue gear with an arrow next to it. If I click on that arrow, I am able to select a bunch of different options. Okay, we'll start with the Precision Editor. If I click on Precision Editor, I can go really close in and make my edits really specific. Okay, and this is the video. The video in front here is the video that I didn't include in my first take. Okay, so it's referring to the video in my event library, not on my timeline. Okay, so if I really want it to be specific, or if I missed this piece that I wanted, I can go and do that precision editor. Over here, just a little bit about audio. I can show the audio track, and that way I can see, or I can do it by audio if I had sound that I wanted to be the primary information here. I would use this precision editor to make sure that I got all the sound that I wanted, that I didn't cut off the interview. Okay, so when I'm done, I hit done. Going back here, we have the clip trimmer. Okay, basically the same thing, except you're just trimming off different pieces. It's a little bit more quick. You don't get as involved, but it's sort of the same concept. Clip adjustments. Okay, this is a little bit more advanced. It brings you to an inspector menu. You can change the duration of a clip. This is good for photos. You can change the saturation, exposure, brightness, the different colors of the video. And this is also where you can increase the audio, or if you have really loud B-roll and you want to decrease the audio while you're hearing either your voice or the interviewer's voice, you can adjust the clip volume here. Okay, and these are the fade-ins and fade-outs, the audio fade-in and fade-outs. Going back to clip volume, there's a couple different effects that might be useful to you. You can sort of skim these and maybe like black and white or romantic or vignette. So you can choose any of those if that helps. And then this is also speed. If you wanted your video to go a little faster, you go towards the hair. And if you wanted to go a little bit slower, you go towards the turtle. You could also reverse your clip as well. Okay, so I'm going to hit done. And going back here to the little gear, so that was video. That was actually all video and audio adjustments. I'm going to skip ahead to cropping and rotations. And here I have a couple of options. I actually have 3 options. I can fit, okay, and if I hover over it, it says I can fit the entire clip within the frame. Cropping will specify a specific portion to crop, and to crop I can just simply drag these green bits here, and if I wanted to select this area to crop, it would only show this area in my frame. Ken Burns is kind of cool, especially if you're using photos. You can have a photo start in one place and then end in a completely different other place. It's going to be kind of difficult to see on this video because it's already moving, but I'll do it anyway. And now you can see how it's zoomed in already, and then it's slowly going to creep out so that it's a little bit wider and it's going to end on the flag. I also put this in slow motion. So those are some of the video editing effects that you can do. Now I had mentioned before that to import photos, you're going to do something different than when you import videos. So to import photos, I'm going to find the photos on my desktop, and I'm literally going to just drag and drop them right into the timeline that I want. Just like that. Okay, so those are my 2 images that I want. And the same thing, I can select them all. I can rotate where they go. I can select different locations for them. I can also go to the gears, and I can do cropping, Ken Burns, and rotation. I'm actually going to show you how to change the duration of a photo. So if I double click on it, you'll see that I have an option to change the duration, and I'm going to change it to 5 seconds. The default is 4. And this is also where I would change, if I wanted something grainy, if I wanted a different film effect. Okay, I'll do this one here. Okay, so then that leaves my photo the way I want it. To record a voiceover, you're going to go to the voiceover symbol right down here. You're going to click on it. And depending if you're using a microphone or not, you're going to select built-in microphone or built-in input. Built-in microphone is the one that's actually built into the computer, and if it's not loud while you're recording, built-in microphone is okay to use. Built-in input is when you'll plug in and set up a microphone with your computer, and that basically takes out all ambient sound around you. So this would be ideal to use in a very loud setting. I'm going to keep it on built-in microphone. And you can notice that when I speak louder, the left and right volume levels go up a little bit. Okay? Ideally, you want them to come about halfway. That's where you want them to bounce to, so you can kind of keep adjusting as you need to. Okay, when you are ready to record your voiceover, there's directions here that say click a clip to start recording. So I'm going to click a clip. It gives me a countdown, and then it lets me know that I'm recording. And you can see as I'm recording, there's a red space that goes all over the video or the photos that I put up here on the timeline. So this will be how you record your script onto iMovie. You just press escape or you click away when you're done with the voiceover recording. Now here's the trick. A lot of people will start another recording accidentally unless they go back down to the arrow or they X out of this application. Okay. Now let's say I want to move this voiceover a little bit farther over here. That's how I would do. I just drag, hold, and drop where I want this voiceover recording. And then I'll be able to hear. It lets me know that I'm recording. Okay, so that's what I just recorded. You may want to add titles to your project. And to do that, you just click over here to the T. And then you'll get a variety of options here. You can hover over them to see what happens when you select that item. Okay. If I want it to be on its own screen, I'm going to drag it so that the green button shows up, or the green line shows up, and then I'm going to drop it. And when I drop it, it comes up with this menu where I can select any of these backgrounds. Let me go with this background right here. And to edit the actual text, I just come over to this screen and I put text here. Right, and then I hit done. I can also edit the time length on this by double clicking once again, and maybe I want the title to be, I don't know, 10 seconds. I can also change the actual transition or the title right here under this selection. If I change my mind, maybe I want it to be clouds instead. Okay, I'm going to hit done. So notice that if I create this for 10 seconds, the overlap goes into my first image. So I also need to change the duration of this this clip right here to match it. So it should be 10 seconds as well. And now it won't overlap into the next item. One of the final touches that you might want to add are transitions or even background music. I'll go over background music first. Click on this background music. There's a ton of different sound effects that you can use. Free of charge, no problem. You already have the rights to this this music, these sound effects here. And what I could do is I can choose a sound effect and drag it to the spot where I want the sound effect to go onto. So maybe the computer is where I want it to go. And I can also change the duration and etc. For transitions, I click on this little transition icon, and I can choose from a variety of transitions that I like. And I'm just going to drag and drop in between the clips. Okay, and then you'll see that transition.